Okay, this seems to be working. We're going to check on it. Don't know who's going to notice me here, but who's here? I had better. I got to kill the Sirius XM. Okay. Oh, somebody's here. Whoever's here, say hello. Uh, just to fill time while I'm checking this feed, because I have no idea. Nope, they're gone, whoever it is. I have no idea why this camera would not connect Saturday, but it is now. So the question I was asked by Nick, we don't have a ton of people following me, and I don't give a crap. But you knew the hypnosis show was coming up. And Nick really likes the brainwave deck I created. And so do I. If I'm doing an adult, any sort of adult comedy situation, that trick is in there. But why the hell the dream deck? Now, whenever you make up one of these, you're going to be making up two. That way you got a backup. So basically all I have is two jumbo index decks of cards, one blue, one red. And basically, guys, I tend to forget how much stuff was attached to the FCM. And then Joey moved it all over to Gospel Conjurer. And then, yeah, we had a couple of assholes really become skunks. That one guy who went to David Ginn, oh, I have something I have to tell you, David, is a really slimy skunk. I just deleted the whole damn thing. Now, yeah, I suppose Joey has them all somewhere. And maybe one day I'll stick them here, but they're awful gospel connected. But so things that I did, because we had over 100 of those, I guess I'm never going to reproduce all of it. But now, where this comes from, originally it was in one of the late Eugene Berger books. Which one I don't remember anymore. And he doesn't give you the in-depth that I do here. But you should own all of his books and read them, and you'll find it. It's called The Dream Deck. I made one up for the Oreo auditions and scared the secretary or the person at the desk so badly, she wouldn't take my business card. She thought I was possessed of the devil. But I created for my video something called the birthday card. Now, there's been different versions, I shouldn't say versions, methods for that effect over the years. It is on my comedy DVD. And yes, it is a pain in the tuchus to make it up. But in that version, there is no audible force. There is nothing you have to do. You get two people up from the audience, man and a woman, a boy or a girl. They should be old enough that the romance thing has a place. Don't use little kids. They hate the romance thing. And basically, one person gets the deck of cards, usually the girl, and one person, man, I wish I had my pocket knife or my color changing knives here. This damn cellophane coming off is not easy. The girl gets the deck of cards. The boy gets the date book. And the date book, man, almost had to look at the dent just to get the darn thing off of there. Uh, every date in the date book has a playing card written on it. And it's the exact same method as the Dream Deck uh, chronology. I think that's what they called it from Collector's Workshop. There's a version in Tony Benarelli's book that uses a Himber wallet. Got rid of all of that. And I like that version. This version, which uses several of the, what's the word I'm looking for, improvements, you just need the deck. And I use this deck several ways, but notably in my hypnosis show. And the question was, why? Why not use Brainwave? I also use this in my third strolling set or fourth. Nowadays, when I'm damn near 70 years old, I get kind of tired. And I love doing this strolling because at the end of the day or the event, we've had the meals, I've been around several times. I come up and say, "Is it all right if I sit down? I'm getting kind of old for this." And then I can do this trick. This is what you need. First, got to have one of these roughing sticks. Saw somebody sell one of these. Hey, Nick, pay attention. I'm talking about you. Saw people selling one of these. Stupid, stupid, stupid. You're going to want to have one of these, at least one. I've got two. So you're going to need that. And if you get the right one, there's like a website, a password to show you all sorts of things you can make up with this. Okay. First off, take the red deck. Take out the advertising cards. Keep the jokers. You're going to need them. All right. We're going to make up the red deck first. So, well, no, we're going to make up the blue deck first. So I'm going to get the red cards out of here. We're going to get about 14 cards that are going to be our force cards. Now, our force suits are hearts and spades. In a minute, I'll explain why those two were selected. So I'm going to need the high spades and the low hearts. So for the spades, I'm going to need the ace, the 7, 8, 9, 10, jack, queen, and king. Those are the force cards. And they are red because they won't match the blue deck. The rest of these, put them over there so you don't screw things up. Now you need the low hearts, but you're still going to need the ace. More on that in a minute. So I run through the cards, doody-doody-doo, and here are the hearts. Again, I go to the 7. Now this is easier because I just cut, and they're 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we put those here. So I've got 7 up to the ace in spades, 7 down to the ace in hearts. Those are my force cards. Now, nobody tells you this. Now, I wish this was mine, Nick. I wish I could be like so many people, David Copperfield, Jeff Hobson, who clearly have had brain injuries, Carol Fox, brain injury, and don't remember where they got things from. I will not say they are liars. Liars. I will say they are mistaken. Their version of history is wrong. David Copperfield did not come up with the method for the death saw. Jeff Hobson took all sorts of stuff. Carroll took all sorts of stuff from Roy Kissel and others. There's no nice way to say it. You'll never be able to say that about me because I don't do that. This idea came from Guy Cameron. I know it's spelled Guy, but it's pronounced Guy. It's a French Canadian thing. Guy created the Cameron Academy, and he was a real sharp cat. When I laid out the birthday card for the video, he said, "Mark, you put the deck together wrong." Here was his point. Sooner or later, somebody's going to drop those cards, or they're going to knock them over, or they're going to spill. And now they're all over the floor. You've got roughed cards. You've got a force card, and you've got an unforced card, but it's roughed because they both have to go together. How do you know which is which? You're going to have to hunt and screw around. What a nightmare. Remember, I'm going to use the blue deck, but the red cards are the force cards. Now, in the blue deck, same thing. Get rid of the advertising cards. Keep both jokers. Going to need those when we make up the blue deck version, and we'll do that in a minute. I want to get the mates of my force cards. In other words, the spades and the hearts are force cards, so we don't use those. There's the spades. But we've got ace through the 7 of hearts. Right here are the diamonds. I separate the ace through the 7 of diamonds and put that down next to my force cards. I then go to the clubs. And same thing. I've got the 7 to the ace of spades. So I've got the 7 through the ace of clubs. In other words, I have my force cards. 7, 8, 9, 10, Jack, Queen, King, Ace over there, spades, Ace, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of hearts. And over here, now I want to set them up so they're right next to each other. Okay, so this is, that's set and that goes there. Okay, so now I have 2 piles of cards. The force cards and their mates. Now, I pick up 2 cards. One is a 7 of diamonds. That's a mate. One is a 7 of hearts. That's a force card. I turn the force card face down. So the cards will be like this on the table. I then take Mr. Roughing Stick. Doody-doody-doo. And I do the face of the mate and the back of the force card. Take the force card, take the mate, put them together. They're roughed, they stick, but it looks like the 7 has a blue back. But in reality, the 7 has a red back. We're going to do all the cards that way. As I do that, I'm going to tell you why we did that. I'm just not going to keep talking about it. I'm just going to do it. Let me put you over there for a minute. Now, God forbid, one day, girl's drunk, guy's an idiot, crash, your deck is all over the floor. For the show, I'm just going to pick them up and put them in the case and do another track. After the show, you're going to go backstage or you're going to go home. And here's all you do. You take out your force cards. You take out your mates. Put them back together. Put the indifferent cards in the middle, which I'll show you in a second. The deck is put back together. No problem, no nightmare. Now that's Guy Cameron. But when I taught this trick to Billy McComb, and he loved it, he said about the mates, Tripper, that's a man who works for real. That's a man who's been out there in front of a real audience. Because he covered a real problem. And in the time it has taken me to tell you all of that, I have done all of the red force cards. All of them. Nick, are you with me so far? Every now and then say hooray, hurrah. Tell me to drop dead. Just let me know you're still there. I'm such an idiot. Now I'm going to do the black cards. And it's the exact same thing. I rough the back of the force card, the face of the mate. Yay, okay. And trust me, Nick, in a second, I'm going to tell you the other reason why you make this up. Because this actually happened Saturday night. Now, I did do it in the show, but I also did it before the show. And when I tell you why, you're going to go poo-poo. And you know, Nick, since it's just us, Saturday night, when I was, Nick has left. Are you still there, Nick? Or is this just a computer error? Because it no longer shows you're in the room. Oh, you're here. Yeah, Nick, I'm looking up in the corner and it says 0. Can you believe, Nick, that not everybody will buy one of those roughing sticks? Or somebody had one and was selling it because he didn't use it at all? La, 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 la. Trust me, Nick, you're going to make this sucker up. Because when I tell you what I did and why, last one. Now, That's all. Yes, Nick. And it's not messy. There it is. So we've got all of the red, all of the black force cards, and their mates. Now, okay. Now these are blue backed. What we call the indifferent cards are going to have to be blue. But because we're making 2 decks at a time, what I have to do now, before I use the indifferent cards, is I have to take out the force cards for the other deck. Which I just did. So I have all of these cards left. So while we're talking, I'm just going to mix them up so that they're not in any particular order. You could shuffle up the other cards. Yes, they're cards. I was going there, Nick, you joke stealer. Yeah, they're in different cards. They don't give a crap. But truthfully, while I would normally mix those up, tell you why I don't. It's easier. Well, it really wouldn't matter. You could still look for the card. So just for the heck of it, I'm going to put you down and you down and you down and you down. I'm just going to mix them up, red and black. So there's a slight bit of a mix. Now, get ready, Nick. This is Eugene Berger's point. What's going to happen now? I have all of these indifferent cards. I take one indifferent card, put it face up on the table. I take one force card that is actually 2 cards, put that on top. An indifferent card, a force card. Indifferent card, force card. Indifferent card, force card. Now, the point being, and maybe you should put one next to each other because I just lost my place. You're going to have a regular card, or what we're calling an indifferent card, in between all of the force cards. And because of the way that works, we actually have 52 cards in here. Now, you have some cards left over. Basically 7 cards. I put 4 on the bottom, 3 on the top, and remember we saved them. Now we take the 2 jokers, 1 on the bottom, 1 on the top. Nikolai, let's take a look and make Eugene Berger's point. Watch the spread. That does not look like a rough deck of cards. That looks like a full and regular deck of cards. No invisible deck, no brainwave deck, no Svengali. Well, Svengali would if you don't show the fronts. Certainly no mental photography. They don't look good when you spread them out. They look short. This doesn't. Now, once you have, and I'll explain why for the jokers and things in just a minute. You put the cards in the blue box. Now, I'll do this later. I won't do it in front of you. I'm going to do the same thing again, only this time, the blue cards will be the force cards, and the red cards will be the mates and the indifferent cards. Are you with me so far, Nick? That's the part where you have to say, yes, Sahib. Yes, oh mighty master of magic. Or any other bullshit, yeah. Now, why? Then I'll teach you how to do it. Nick, this happened. Got to the town early, contacted the guy with the check, said, hey, I'm here early. He said, hey, we're over here having barbecue. Come on over. So I did. They wanted to feed me. I said, no, I can't. I don't want to have all that on my stomach. If I burp or I fart during the show, it makes for a bad review. During the table conversation, because remember, I've been hired to be a hypnotist, the subject of hypnotism came up, and people wanted to see a demonstration. Now, what are you going to do, Nick? Have somebody quack like a duck? How do I do a hypnotic demonstration right now? I use the opening of the hypnotic show. I talk about influence. I talk about the hypnosis really is about me influencing somebody else. They trust me. They listen to what I say, and they make it come true in their mind. But let me show you how it works. And I pick this lady, and you take the deck, and you put her hands like this, and you say, you have the deck right now. I'm not going to touch it. I'm not going to fool around. But I'm going to see if I can influence you to pick one special card. But if I say name a card, there's nothing to influence. So we have to do this in steps. First step, every deck of cards has 4 suits: clubs, hearts, spades, and diamonds. Now, when I'm not doing script, I'll lean over here. Clubs, hearts, spades, diamonds. Any one of those stick out in your mind. Now, Nick, right now, you got a 50-50 chance they're going to pick the hearts or the spades. But I'm using a girl, more often than not, they will pick diamonds. Now, this process that I'm about to do is spoken of by Dai Vernon under the title The Trick That Can't Be Named. It's a fascinating theory. You should look it up. Essentially, it's free jazz. He puts a queen of clubs turned around in the middle of the deck, I think, and a card at the bottom and a card at the top, and these are normally selected. He tells somebody to name a card, and he makes up a trick where he finds their card. You can't explain it because it's never the same way twice. It's free jazz. That's what's happening here. If she says diamonds, we're going to eliminate things. But if she says hearts, spades, we're going to keep things. If she says hearts or spades, great. We'll pick spades. Could have had the other 3, but you chose spades. See, you firm it up once it's selected, not before. She said hearts. We were done. Let's say they didn't. Now, when I did the show, I said, anything hits you? And the girl said, diamonds. That's more common. And you look at the girl and you say, yeah, diamonds are a girl's best friend. You turn to the audience, which of course was made up by a girl. All the boys hoot, hollered, clapped. The girls got mad. No, no, come on, ladies, let's be honest. A diamond is a girl's best friend, but a dog is man's best friend. Who picked that? Got to be a woman. Of course, I've seen people give their fiancés one dog of a ring, but oh, never mind. But the point is, you're leading to most people say that's an obvious choice, so we'll get rid of it. Listen carefully, Nick. This is classic gambling, and nobody catches it. Once the first elimination is done, the odds are now not 50-50. They are 2-1. They're going to pick a force card. Let's say they don't. The next pick is clubs. Okay, we'll get rid of clubs. Now, there's two people in here now. If you're here, say hi. Now you've got heart spades. Either one of them works. So relax. Okay, we got rid of the diamonds. We got rid of the clubs. We've got hearts and spades left. Up to you. Do you want to pick one to keep or do you want to pick one to get rid of? You don't care. They pick, I want to keep it. Fine, name one. We'll keep it. I want to get rid of it. Fine, name one. We'll get rid of it. We're left with this one. So that's how you end up with a heart or a spade. Now, yeah, you got to listen to me. You got to practice the script because you got to look loosey-goosey. You got to look like none of this matters. You're just letting them make the decisions. But you've told them that you're being subtle. And trust me, people will talk later. Oh, you know, when he said hearts, he sort of emphasized that. Or he slowed down when he said high or low. And they'll all come up with ways it worked that have nothing to do with why it works. Okay, so now you say, okay, now we have to pick whether you're going to select a high card or a low card. Let's use 7 as a dividing line. Now, here's what I want you to do to yourself, not out loud. I want you to say high, low, or low, high, or mix it up high, low, high, low. Just say it to yourself. When I touch the top of your hand, I want you to say whatever one you're thinking of, whether it's high or low. Now, let's say she picked hearts. You do that, ping, and she says high. Well, we can't use the high hearts. We've got the low hearts. Okay, I will get rid of that. Now, you don't want to hang around there very long for them to think about whether you kept it or got rid of it. This is why you did what you did with the aces. You say high or low. Because see, even if they take it, if you had done eliminations first, it still seems weird. So you announce whichever one you got. You pick spades, we'll take the high cards. You pick hearts, we'll take the low cards. Oh, right after you say high or low. Oh, got to ask you a question. The ace. Do you want the ace to be high or low? You don't care. The ace is in both places. If they say low and you've got spades and they said high, okay, we'll get rid of the ace. If they said high and they said high for the ace, okay, we'll include the ace. Are you with me so far, Nick? I don't want to go so fast that I'm confusing, but I don't think I am. I'm pretty sure you're with me, but let me have another I'm with you if you're there. Well, I'm waiting to hear from you. Once you have set the ace. And that's what distracts them. Say something, Nick. Oh, absolutely. Okay. Nick, right now, after you set the ace, you can't lose. You're done. And now you get very hypnotic. As I turn to the lady at the table, okay, by a process of elimination and selection, they're never going to remember what you did. They can't. When they describe this later, it was all her making the decisions. We are now left, she said hearts, with the ace, the two, the three, the four, the five, the six, and the seven of hearts. Let me repeat that. 7 different cards. The ace, the two, the three, the four, the five, the six, or the 7 of hearts. This is selection time. Pick any one of those you feel inclined to select. Now, listen carefully, Nick. Often, and it's such a great joke, they're going to say, and it happened that night, do you want me to tell you? You immediately say, well, you could mail it in, but we're going to be here a long time if you do. Everybody laughs. No, please go ahead and tell me. 4 hearts. Okay. Now you have to build this up because you're building to a hysterical joke. Okay, you've had the cards. No sleight of hand, nothing weird. You have been in full control. You slowly went through a process of elimination and selection. We've come down to the 4 of hearts, and you had a completely free choice. Watch and be amazed. Now, like I said, I do this strolling sitting down. Last time, Christmas time, the corporate show, I did this, and the people went nuts for what I did. Now, watch. Not going to believe this. Deck of cards, all blue. You said 4 of hearts. Now, everybody looks. You run through the cards, and you say, you're not going to believe this. It's absolutely unbelievable. But right here, now you cut it to the top, putting the jokers together down there. And you show the 4 and you say, there is the 4 of hearts. And you stop. As you stop, you separate the 4 and put it on her hand. And people will, I had a woman Christmas time do this. Mark. Every deck has a 4 in it. Oh, yeah, you're right. If they don't say it, you do. Every deck has a 4 in it. But there is one thing that's special. This is a blue box, and this is a blue deck. Notice the spread, Nick. Turn over your card. And of course, they've got the red one. And I've just demonstrated hypnosis at the table at the barbecue place. And everybody now knows I can hypnotize anybody. Now listen, here's the cleanup. Notice the mate is right there. I take the 4 and I put it on the mate. I run through the cards until I see the jokers. Separate the jokers, one on top, one on the bottom, cut the deck, put the deck back in the box. The cards are totally reset for the next show. Now do you understand how I use it, Nick? This is the part where you give me the lauds and the accolades. No, not at all. I just leave it there. Nobody thinks anything about the four of hearts being next to the four of diamonds. They're focused on the four of hearts. They absolutely don't care. And if you think about it, yeah, they're not going to be looking for that. I'm making up the other deck while we're talking. Oh, Nick. To me, and I could be wrong, I have been wrong before. I think it eliminates. The only place I use an invisible deck today is if I'm doing a prediction effect. And what I do, and so red, these are red, so they're going to go in here, I think. It's this simple. You take an invisible deck. I take a joker, a regular joker, and put it on one side so I can take the deck out and casually show it. And it looks like a regular deck. But it's not. It's an invisible deck. You seal that in a mailing envelope inside another mailing envelope, and you send it to the client. That's your prediction. Now think about it. Think about the thousands of dollars people spend on prediction chests and all that kind of stuff. And over the years, trust me, Nicholas, I've seen them fail. The most expensive one, and I mean thousands of dollars, years ago, was a big boombox. And you sent them a cassette tape. And the cassette tape could be hung in a glass box, put on Funkin' Wagnall's back porch. You got to be a Johnny Carson fan to get that one. Any of that kind of stuff. The day of the revelation, you've got your big boombox on stage because you're going to use it. They drop the sealed box, show your sealed envelope that was signed. They tear that open. There's another one. Read that. It's signed. They tear it open. Here's the cassette. You put that into the boombox and you push play. And the cassette in the boombox has your prediction. This is Friday morning, a month prior. The headline is a big thing. The Lions have won the World Series, on and on and on. What happened? What that boombox does. In the battery compartment, because you got to plug it in, they took out the battery compartment and they wired in a small cassette player, one of those micro ones that takes notes. They wire the big boombox so when you put the cassette in there and you push play, actually the little mini recorder is playing, and that's going through the speakers, but at the same time, you are recording onto the cassette tape so that when you finish, you push it open, take out the cassette, gave it to the client, and you're free and clear. That cassette has on it what was in the mini recorder. And I think back in the late 70s, when that came out, they were around $2,000, 2,500, almost three. And that was an incredible amount of money. And Viano turned me on. Some guy was at a mall and he was going to do this. And the mall was thrilled about this. And we went in to see it. Don and I and Carol. And man, there's everything. And there's the box. And there's the sealed envelopes. And blah, blah, blah. Hundreds of people in the mall to see this prediction. He's going to predict the lottery numbers or something. And they lower the thing down. And they put the thing in the boombox and they push play. Where do you think I'm going, Nick? What do you think happened, Nick? I'm waiting, Nikolai. You know what happened. Nothing happened. Yep. Major malfunction. Nothing came out. Nothing. Not only did nothing come out, nothing got recorded on the cassette. So you couldn't say it was a head problem in the boombox. Punting, and I didn't say anything, I'm not that big of a skunk. They said, well, we're really sorry. Obviously, somebody got close to the cassette with a magnet and it erased the tape. Now, first off, second, you've got 100 people in that mall and nothing happened. How do you think the mall felt about it? Not happy. And me being me, we all went out and everybody had different ideas or whatever about what to say if that happened. And me being me, I said, well, guys, all of this is well and good. But to me, if there was even a possibility of a malfunction, I would do a different method. And that was when just send them an invisible deck was born. Was not my idea. That's what Carol said. Just send them an invisible deck. I have, over the years, modified that idea here and there. But the fact is, if it can go wrong, it will. That is something I specifically learned from the late Billy McComb. He often said, if it can mess up, it will mess up. And the day it does mess up, the Pope, the Premier, the Prime Minister, the President and your mother will all be in the front row. So, as we say, don't do it. I'm getting ready. I'm mixing red and black again. And then I'm going to put in the cards that don't give a crap. Any questions at all, Nick? Because I have a couple for you. Okay, this goes here. I guess these go here. I got to mix these up. I guess the big question I have for you, Nick, is do you feel comfortable making... Let me try that again in English. Do you feel comfortable making this up? And hang on a second. You know why I got to run. Ah. All right. Nick, are you there? I have... Oh, there you are. I can make it. No. Nick, the force cards are always the same. It's going to be the low hearts, the high spades. Doesn't matter how I set it up. Because if I don't do it that way, I'd have to change my script every show. I'm not going to do that. So it's always ace through 7 of hearts low and 7 through ace of spades high. Dope. All right, so we put one here, one there, 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 one here, one there. I get so confused as I start doing this, and you really shouldn't. It's just 1 for 1. How in the hell am I messing this up? And again, you're always going to have 7 cards left over at the end. You can mix it up if you want. Usually, as I've thought about this, I put the 4 on the bottom, the 3 on the top. Grab your 2 jokers, 1 and 1. And that really is 54 cards, Nick. And again, watch. Oh. Well, Nick, see that brick? Amazon, about 15 bucks. I have a Prime membership, so shipping is free. I can make brainwaves. I can make dream decks. They're not marked, but I can pretty much do what I got to do. Hang on, I'm going to show you this again. Watch, watch, watch. I spread these cards. Nick, you cannot tell that 14 of them are double cards. Because out of 52 cards, there's a crap load left that aren't. Now I take the blue box. And now I have two brand new, perfectly made dream decks that I can do and use and form anywhere I want. Anything else today, Nick? I'd love to keep talking to you, but if we're going to do that, make a call and we'll talk. I got lots of stuff going on here today. But this was a test. I wanted to make sure everything worked. For some reason, like I said, the camera wasn't working last week, but it is now. So, this week on Svengoolie Blacula. It's actually a pretty good movie. It was made during the blaxploitation movie situations and times, because I was in the army, and you're all in the army together. I saw a whole bunch of those blaxploitation films. The horrors, the Blackulas were pretty good. Blackenstein was kind of, personally, I loved the stuff with the hot chicks. First off, it was a brand new industry. We never had women as the butt kickers before, and they looked pretty damn. Pam Grier literally created a genre. She took over, and I don't care. I will never forget what. Oh gosh, give me a second. I'm getting so old, my brain just doesn't work. Eartha Kitt. And how she got away with it, I'll never know. I'm sure she said it more than once. But she was on Johnny Carson and he was talking about sex symbols and was it hard to be black or whatever. And Eartha Kitt looked him right in the eye and she said, Johnny, all cats feel the same in the dark. Now, if you think about it, she actually said two things. And she got right past the censor with it. Whoa. Take care, buddy. Call if you want. And I'll see you soon. Turn blue, scratch glass. Don't get caught. See you soon.